In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can qualify for the solo cash cups in chapter 6. But just before we get into that, if you're interested in private one-on-one coaching, then check out the first link down in the description. Alright, so first things first, let me explain the format and what points you'll actually be getting in these games. So as you can see here, it's top 600 on every region will qualify to round 2. So it's a lot harder than the victory cups where it was like top 10,000. So top 600 qualify. Now to get that, on EU it's around 300 points. On NA Central it's about 270, 280. And I don't know about any of the other regions. You'll have to go look for yourselves. Now let's explain the points format. You're going to get 60 points for the win, which is similar to last season in the Solo Victory Cup format. However, it's not so top heavy anymore. It used to be that if you got a top 5, you'd get about 40 points. But if you got a top 10, you'd get like 20. But now it's 1 point for every placement from top 50 onwards. So as you can see, 1 point every time someone else dies in the game. Now, how many points do you get for every kill? It's now 2 points for every elimination, which is double what it was last season. So kills are actually worth going for now. But should you W key every game, or should you just play them out and try and get your placement? And the best way to actually do this is to W key your first game if you're a confident fighter. If you're not good at fighting, don't waste your first game W keying. But if you are good at fighting, try and W key that first game. At least get a 10 kill win. If you can push for a 20 kill win, that would be even better. But if you aren't good at fighting, play for end game. And you'll be able to get free kills in the end game. When people are rotating, you can easily spray them and get those kills. And that's the same thing for after you've done your high kill game. Let's say you've just dropped your 10 kill win or your 20 kill win in your first game. Now you're going to want to play placement every single game after that. Land somewhere low key, loot up, play for the end game, and get your kills in the end game. Now a main thing that you guys want to do is create a game plan. This is very simple. It's just going to be where you're landing, where you're rotating to, and what you're doing throughout the game. If you'd like me to make a video on how to create a good game plan, then comment down below and I'll definitely do that soon. Now the reason you want to have a game plan is so that you can follow it every single game. This is what the pros do. They have a game plan, they do the same things every single game, and that just leads them to have a great game. And it's like a domino effect. If you have a good early game, then you're going to have a good mid game because you're not trying to recover. And then if you have a good mid game, you're going to have a good end game, which is going to lead you to get a very good placement in that game, which will result in more points and higher place on the leaderboard, obviously. Now let's talk about something I like to call the 7-game rule. Now the solo cash cups this season are 3 hours long, which means you can play out exactly 7 games. You can play 7 full end games, and that is the most optimal way to play it. Try and play out all 7 games, and you'll have the best chance of qualifying. Whereas if you played 9 games where you died halfway through a couple of the games, you're not going to be getting the most points out of those games, and it's going to throw off your timing and how many points you actually need to qualify. Now, a big question you probably have is what's the best loadout to carry for solos? I'm going to break that down for you right now and tell you why you want to carry these things. The first thing is obviously a shotgun. And you probably all know this already, but the best shotgun this season is the Sentinel Pump Shotgun. This is by far the best shotgun in the game right now, and you want to take this every single game. Next up is the Assault Rifle. I don't think it's worth carrying an SMG this season. One SMG is pretty shit. You have to charge it up to even be able to do a good fire rate. And the other SMG has really low structure damage, so you can't really spray through anyone's builds. Now, both ARs are viable this season. You can take either one. Personally, I prefer the one with the scope. It's easier to beam people and hit your shots, and most people seem to be taking that one. So it's up to you really, it's preference. But the scoped one is a lot easier to spray people and get those kills. Now, which mobility should you take? Should you just take the Oni mask or the katana? This is a very obvious one. You take the Oni mask. The katana got nerfed a couple of weeks ago, so it's not that good anymore. So you obviously want to take the Oni mask. However, if you don't find a mask, then definitely take that katana until you find a mask, or you'll just have to play the game out with the katana. Also, with the mask, don't be afraid to use your teleports in the mid game. I see a lot of people trying to hold on to their TPs for end game, but then they end up being scuffed and not even being able to use it well enough in the end game because they haven't used it during the mid game to get themselves into good positions or get themselves away from fights or stuff like that. So definitely use the mask when you need to use it in the mid game to do those rotates. Now, finally, which heals should you carry? In solos, I don't think you need to take any white heals, no medkits, no floppers, you do not need to carry them. The best heals this season are like big pots, chug splashes, those little blobs that you throw on the ground, and some minis as well. But which two should you take? It depends on what you find, really. I'd say 3 shieldfish, 3 big pots is a good loadout. You could do 3 shieldfish and a blob. You could do 6 chug splashes and a blob. You could do minis and bigs. It really depends on what you find, but all of those heals are going to work together and they're very good. Now, the reason you shouldn't be taking white heals is because you're going to get tagged a lot during the mid game if you're not good at rotating. So you're going to need to top your shield up a lot. So you need to carry a lot of shield. And another reason is because you have Siphon now. So you don't actually need to carry white heals. You can just get a kill and that'll top up your white health back to 100. So that is all my tips for how to qualify for the Solo Cash Cup. Hopefully this video has helped you out, guys. If it has, drop a like down below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all in my next video.